everyone. It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while. I got a poem for you. It's called No Stressing. I believe in no stressing. If I was stressed before, then no more. I believe in equality, rights, and freedom. I believe in mankind, life, and I see dumb questions about the massacring of lives. Just because you masquerade and say you love Christ does not ameliorate the shedding of thighs. Your fat loss and mental capacity does not add limpet to your audacity to think a genocide is right. How dare you argue that it is Israel's right? If Africa's in turmoil, so is your birthright. For if you knew history, you know who the real Israelites stem from came to exist. You are dead to me. Our friendship should be added to your wish list. For this Christmas wasn't the same as last. And this person already knew Santa was tricking for cash. Your God is not mine. For the God I serve brings truth to light, applauds everyone's right to life, looks after orphans and widows, hence the Great Commission. If I lose my contacts based on this admission, I attain a new vision that no man can deny me of God's provision. Sila, shalom, amin, respect. You're damn right I'm putting pressure on you Negroes' neck. Thanks. Hey everyone. So I just wanted to let you know about what was going on. So I was consulting with an orthopedic surgeon, and this is someone who was considering doing back surgery and using this individual. However, after consulting with him and praying about it and just reviewing different options, I'm more comfortable with just continuing what I'm doing now. The healing is slow, but I'm making some gains. What the surgeon told me, which I was just astonished by, he was like, he feels that what I'm going through, the disc degeneration, the herniated disc, and other issues, it will not only be one surgery, it'll be at least two, at most three. And when he said that, I was just like, no. But I asked questions, and I said, why is that? He said, well, your back has worn down to the point where you're not having that support, and it's not only that lumbar section, the L5S1, it's going up, it's going higher to other regions, you know. And I said, yeah, I know that the X-ray and MRI did show that, and I know with degenerative joint disease, or degenerative disc disease, your body's basically wearing down. My bones are wearing down. So I said, well, what are you thinking? He was just like, well, it's a risky surgery. So once he said that, I was flexed. I was honest. I was thankful that he was honest with me, but I don't want a surgeon to start off with it's risky surgery, because then that kind of eradicates the trust I have in the surgeon going into my back. But I do appreciate his honesty, right? So I said, why is that? He's like, well, where it's deteriorated is your base. That's the foundation. And I feel like when I will go in to shave off that part, to remove what's basically worn down, your spine will collapse. And I was like, interesting. Okay. How I presented externally wasn't how I felt internally, And then while he was telling me this, everything he was telling me, I'm like, God has the final say, God has the final say, God has the final say. Don't cry, Trisha, don't cry. Anyway, he was also saying that it will be a fusion. And I said, how many times have you done this surgery? He said a few. He said a couple of hundreds. I said, hundreds, yeah. And I said, how successful have you been? And he's like, well, success is relative, Success to you may be different from someone else. And I said, that's true. And he said, well, you're standing in front of me, you're shifting, you're in a lot of pain, you're grimacing, you can't sit, you can't stand still. I can imagine how, doing school or work is for you. Is this the quality of life you want for the rest of your life? And I said, that's a good point. That's a good point. And then I said, well, let me make it clear. He did say like 3,000, but then when I said, how successful have you been? I could have sworn I heard a couple of hundreds, but maybe that was what my mind heard and not what he actually said. So that's how that went. But then after I asked him, what do you think the next step should be? Other surgeons said they can do other surgeries. It wasn't the fusion. It was basically added hardware to my back. And I said, with that surgery, I know like every 10 years you have to renew, you have to revise. And I said, after I do a surgery, I want it to be it. He's like, well, your case is more complicated than that. And I said, well, I've done physical therapy for years. I've had physical therapy off and on for 4 years. I've done acupuncture. I've done acupressure. I've done it all. And he said steroid injections. He wanted to give me more steroid injections. And I said, I've done it. It lasts for 2 weeks and it wears off. And I just said, I need to figure things out. I need to really pray on this because the thing is with me, I know too much. Sometimes knowing too much, and I've seen a lot, especially being in the realm of rehabilitation therapy, being an occupational therapist and working in the rehab realm. I've seen successful back surgeries, and I've seen horrible surgeries where a person went in walking and having all their sensations intact, and they were paralyzed or they had some sensory issues. So he is the sixth orthopedic surgeon I consulted with. From my prior videos, remember I said you need to get a second opinion? Well, your girl here got a second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And I did that because I just held on to the belief that someone is going to tell me something different and will help me whatever I need help with. And I've heard different things along the way, but every surgeon I met with, the first thing I'm thinking money. This surgery is like 35,000, 40,000, whatever it is. And their job is to make money. This is a big business, guys. Healthcare is a big business. So it should be a place of healing, which there are some healers in it, but there's some business people in it as well. So when sharks sense blood, they attack people more. Not to be negative, but that's the reality of the situation, or of my situation.